Arron, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm well. So tell me a little bit about you and what you do and your background.
Well, I'm a timber framer and I focus in on historic buildings.
Yeah?
And we work all over New England and we do church steeples, barns, and residential work like this.
So
as
a
well.
lot of restoration.
Yep, heavy timber framing. They don't call us until it's really rotten.
Cool. What about this house that really brings your interest?
Well, the first thing is it's got an original overhang.
Really?
And we don't usually see overhangs on these early buildings.
That's true.
And that struck my interest right away.
Right. A lot of these capes that we see built in the 40s and the 50s, they had no overhang at all. And you're right. Now that I see it, it is kind of unusual for that. So
it is.
let's go inside and take a look. All right, so this doorway that we come through is actually the original back wall of the house. I can tell by the sheathing that was on here, but they obviously removed the sheathing here. They probably used that wood maybe when they built the L at a later time. But I can also see the diagonal bracing and the corner post here that says the back wall and signs of the old overhang.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So what do you see?
Well, I see white oak, first of all, which
yeah.
lends itself to 1720 because they cut the white oak this area really, really early. But I also see a scribe rule timber frame, and I can tell that because there are marriage marks, and that tells me the original builder was scribing this building together. So marriage marks marry two timbers together. They only go in this one place in the whole frame.
Yeah, so you want to make sure you use the right piece. If you took that piece and tried to use it on the other corner,
it won't
it's
fit.
not going to fit.
So we see a marriage mark right here that has a level line and then the arch, the actual half circle.
Right.
You see its marriage mark here and on here. So you got stud, brace, stud, and that may indicate east. This is the east wall of this building.
Yeah.
And this is kind of like sunrise.
Oh, yeah.
And then what's really interesting down here is I see a level line. It has a straight line across and then an X through it, which is the original builder's mark for a reference point of level, so they could build it level and plumb. That's a great mark to see.
That's right. It's all about level, plumb, and square.
Yep. And the other thing I see is we've got this L connection right here, a little mortise tenon joint here, then the tie beams offset away from the house. This wouldn't have been how they would have done it originally, so this tells me that this L came on maybe a year later, maybe 10 years later. It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
But one of the other indications that shows you that it was added later is the original sheathing that is all beveled.
Yeah, you can see that it's hand done with a chisel right down here.
Yep.
And really, you can see it really good down here.
They overlapped this sheathing onto the existing sheathing.
Right.
That's not how they would have done it if this L was original.
Exactly. Let's take a look upstairs.
Okay, sounds good. All right, this is where the chimney used to be.
Right, so we're right behind the front stairway.
Yep.
Now, the front stairway wasn't original to the house. But
No,
a lot
it
of people
wasn't.
don't know that the old Yankees would put a chimney in the center of the building because it's a lot more efficient.
Yeah.
It drafts better, but it also generates heat in the evening after the day's use of the fireplaces.
This timber frame is designed around that center chimney.
Absolutely.
And I can tell that because of the way this joinery is coming together. We're looking at the gambrel roof framing right here.
Yeah.
That principal rafter coming up, that's the steep pitch rafter.
Right, right.
The purlins going across and the vertical sheathing.
Right.
And that makes the roof plane of the gambrel.
Yep.
That's all original. And then it changes pitch at the top of the gambrel as this tie beam connects the two sides of the house.
Right.
Then a short rafter goes right off the tie beam and goes up to the peak.
Right.
And you can tell that this is all original. First of all, it's really super tight, doing really well. But there's that marriage mark again. That's a number 3 with a flag.
Yep.
Number 3 with a flag. That's that little mark off the right side.
Here, and then you get the same thing
And you see the
up
same
there.
mark on the rafter.
Yep, yep.
So this is tie beam 3 going to rafter 3 in bent 3.
Right, so these are the structural members, and the purlin is actually supporting the boards because you'd think of the boards as going this direction,
Right,
but
on a regular
they would
house.
stand them up and go that. That's why you need the purlin.
Yep.
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
I just really like seeing how tight the joinery is because it's 1720.
Yeah, the house really hasn't settled much at all on this part, but let's take
really
a look
well
at the
here.
L. There's a little bit
Okay.
of movement in there.
Sounds good.
I see a lot going on here.
There's
I mean, I see, if I look at this frame, I see as at least 4, maybe 5 different iterations over the years that have gone on with this.
Yep. The first L is this section right here.
Right.
Could have gone on at 1721, could have been 1725, because it's all hand hewn. The second iteration emulated that first one. They used the same rafter heel connection.
Yep.
But then the third iteration, they changed completely into stick framing. And then this whole second floor is the 4th iteration.
Right. If you look down the end of the gable down there, you can see under that window there's a rafter that runs from that outside wall up to this wall right here. This is a ridge beam that actually held a shed roof that went down.
You can see the mortise for that shed rafter.
Right. So now the homeowner wants the ceiling height in the kitchen, which is going to be down here, higher. Have you got a plan?
Yeah, I thought originally we were going to lift up this original L as a single building and then fix everything and elevate and put a post foot on each of the posts. But I think we'll take it apart peacefully, fix everything on the bench, and then hand it back to you guys to put it where you want to put it.
I like the idea of that. You're going to take it apart, and you're going to save as much of it as you can, and we'll throw away the junk.
There's a lot to save here. I think it's worthwhile.
I agree. I love these old houses.
I do too.
Thanks for watching. This Old House has got a video for just about every home improvement project, so be sure to check out the others. And if you like what you see, click on the subscribe button to make sure that you get our newest videos right in your feed.